Hi guys, welcome back. It is in fact deadline day, but more importantly, we are top of the league. Hi guys, welcome back to episode 6 of South Coast Supremacy. We have some breaking news, but I'll let our past me explain. Right guys, I thought I would just record this little bit here before the episode, because we do have some breaking news. We're only 6 months into my very long 1-year contract with Portsmouth. They have already offered me a new deal, and I thought this was a big moment, because we've only having 1 year at the end of the season. This whole thing got to be over within 1 year. Not only have they offered me a brand new contract, they've also given me a little bit of a pay rise, something like £1,000, £750 a week pay rise, which is always a good thing. But looks like we're staying for at least another year. Yes, as past me did explain, we have in fact got a new contract and a little bit of a pay rise. So we're here for at least next season, which will hopefully be in the championship. Yes, as I did say in the intro, we are in fact top of the league. And we do have a game in hand. We have 2 very important games coming up though, against Peterborough and Barnsley. And let's go and find out how we got there. Yes, as you can see, we are in fact top of the league. And as you can see, we have had a massive upturn in form. We're going to have lots of wins there with only a couple of defeats. But also, what is rather big news, and especially the way this season is going, is we managed to win a cup game at the first time of asking. Yes, in fact, we did beat Burton 2-1. And it was a comfortable win. I think their 1 goal came at the end. But it was nice to actually win a game without having to take it to a replay. But in the next round against Blackburn, we did get knocked out, but it was not without trying. We did, in fact, if I remember rightly, we lost that game in something like the 95th minute. The positives to take from that, let's be honest, is if we can keep this run of form up, if we can get out of this division and get into the championship, it does show that even with this team, even though probably a lot of this team aren't going to be here next season, that at least this team can compete with teams in the championship. So at least it's a step in the right direction. But more importantly, it is deadline day, and we have had some transfers in and out already in the January transfer window. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get over to the players that we have brought in. As you can see, first there, ex-Premier League player and ex-Premier Birmingham player, did very well at Derby, did very well at Watford. Well, I thought he did very well at Watford, but clearly I don't know what I'm talking about, because I haven't. But he did very well at Derby. But in fact, he is now a Portsmouth player on a 1-year deal until next season. And it was a free transfer, as you can see there. It was a free transfer. Probably one of the most best-paid players at the club. I had to sort of give him quite a bit to get him in. Unfortunately, one thing which I didn't really look at, because I did go and get him quite quickly, he is in fact injured. He's on his way back from injury, so he is yet to play a game for us. But I'm sure he'll be on the team and on the pitch firing in no time. Part of the reason why I did look to bring him in is because, like I said, one of the areas I wanted to strengthen was in the attacking midfield, because I felt like we didn't really have any key players there. I mean, Jacobson is doing a splendid job there, and he's doing really well. And he's still starting there, but I felt like we needed a little bit more cover there. And I feel like he can play in multiple positions as well. But obviously you can see, I'll probably play mainly there, maybe a shadow striker, who knows. But mainly as an advanced playmaker, which I think at this division, look at the stats, I think is pretty good enough. But going back to the transfers in the club, obviously we brought in Matt Vidra, as just mentioned, and then we brought in this centre-back. As I said, that was another position where I would like to have strengthened, because I'm not just thinking this season, I think I am a little bit with Vidra to try and help us there. But in terms of Regan Poole, only 24-year-old, can play right back, which he currently is playing. Or he can play centre-back. He's still young, still can improve, and as you can see by the start rate and stuff, he's one of our key players. And more importantly, which I have tried to do with a lot of the players bringing in, is they have championship potential to go play in that division as well. So hopefully they can be useful for me next season. But he came up on the scouting. I can't say I've really heard of him, but he was at Lincoln, and I just obviously it came up rather well, and I thought, bargain, let's just go and snap him up and get him in this team. I am thinking the more he plays, the more he's going to improve, and I'm thinking he's probably going to be one of our starting players next season, as obviously we do have a few players leaving at the end of the season. We have in fact brought a new striker in, but I will get to that in just a moment. We did bring in Greg Doherty because he was going to be out of contract at the end of the season, I mean, a lot of these players are wanted to come in only on like 1-year deals. I think they're a bit unsure about the Portsmouth project yet. So they're a bit unsure about committing too long to us, but they're coming in 1-year deals, and hopefully if we get promoted and they're good enough, we'll keep them around. But again, another one, 3.5-star potential, 4-star, 3.5-star ability, 4-star potential. Good all-round midfielder, box to box, which is what I use now. And play defensively. I mean, I didn't really bring him into playing those positions, but at least nice to know that worst case scenarios he can play in that position. One of the key things that I thought was was important to bringing him in was teamwork. Very, very good for teamwork. And also, again, another one, if we look at the coaching report, championship player. I mean, I get it's potentially championship player, but I'm also excited. I'm trying to think ahead. We have had a couple of outs. I mean, a couple of small players that I can't say they've played, lone players and stuff like that. There's one key player that has in fact left, and probably the best place to find out where he is we'll go to the strikers. Can you see a significant name missing on the strikers? A certain striker that I personally brought in to replace our current top scorer and bigged him up, said he was going to be pretty good for us. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, Daniel Jefferson. In fact, Sheffield United recalled him, which did surprise me because he played quite regularly, but they recalled him because apparently he wasn't playing in the right position often enough. They didn't speak to me beforehand. They didn't ask for a meeting where they complain and whinge and say play him in the right position. They just decided to recall him. So I had to go out and try and replace him. But we move on. Because as I turned around and said, I did in fact bring one more player in Liam Cullum. This guy is on loan with a view to a permanent contract. Because, I mean, optional future fee was like, it was minimal. Well, I say minimal, not minimal, but it was in terms of like how much they were wanting and stuff like that. So I thought if I could bring him in on loan, see how he does for us, it's kind of a win-win because I don't think that's too expensive, especially if we get promoted. And if not, then we send him back and if he doesn't do very well. But I think there's a pretty good all-round player as a striker. Obviously, good determination, good work rate. I mean, his strength and jumping reach isn't massive, but he's not very tall either, so that doesn't really make a difference. But he looked good all-round player. His anticipation, he's brave. I think he is a good backup to Dane Scarlett. I mean, obviously, my plan was to start Jefferson because apparently, obviously, I heard lots of good things about him, but evidently I was wrong there. So Liam Cullum's come in for the rest of the season, potentially next season, to play backup to Scarlett. So let's see how he does. Let's see if he can do any better and score some more goals. But yeah, just going back briefly to Dane Scarlett, as you guys will see in just a moment when I go in the league, he's top of the league. We're still doing well. He's still firing goals. And in fact, we're doing even better. But before I do forget, not that it's too important and I shouldn't have really forgot it, but we are expecting to get at least one departure out on deadline day, and that is Ryan Tunnicliffe. Obviously, he asked me to play more game time. I didn't give him it. He wins, you wind. And to be honest, the fee it's absolutely minimal, but apparently where his minimal fee was 10,000, and apparently I was asking for too much. So let's just get him out the door, get the wages back in our pockets, and maybe see if that can help bring us in a few more players. I'm not expecting too much more movement going into deadline day. I mean, I don't really think there's anyone key to bring in. I said I think I've got enough loan players in the squad, because obviously I can't even have all the current loan players I have in the squad at the same time anyway. And in terms of outs, I think if I can shift a few more players out, that may be possible, that may do it, but we'll see. And I know halfway through deadline day, we are in fact playing Peterborough. Which when I initially said we were going to come back for the Peterborough game, that was an important game. That was a key game in the season. Again, I'm not saying it's not important, but as you can see, they've dropped off the ball quite a bit. So this is one that we should win, but we can afford not to. And after the Peterborough game and after deadline day, we do in fact play Barnsley, which I'm hoping for a better result than what happened in real life after Portsmouth lost 3-1 the other day. So hopefully I can amend that for us. But let's not wait around any longer. We've got 15 hours to go. Let's get into deadline day, and I'll be back if there's any news to give you. So we do have only 3 hours left of deadline day. I've come back around about now. I'd love to be able to tell you we've had a few ins and outs and we'll be able to strike a deal or two. But realistically, I don't really feel the need to be spending for spending's sake. I mean, we're pretty good covered in, obviously, in most areas now. We've got too many midfielders, and hopefully a couple of them will go. We've got plenty in defence, and I think we're okay in the goalkeeping department. I know I've had a few things to say about Griffiths, but he's doing all right. He's doing all right now. So I think we'll stick with what we've got there. I mean, the full-back position's sort of the same. We have had a couple of outs, as I said, as we'll see here. Tony Cliff did in fact leave for Shrewsbury, and also one of our full-backs in Kieran Freeman. He went to MK Dons. Again, the fee minimal, but it was really just more about leaving in the books out a little bit. The players weren't really playing, that's why they weren't happy. And obviously a club like Portsmouth, especially in League One, you don't really want players sat around on wages just wasting away. Get them off the books, get them out the door, and then we can worry about it. It would be cool to be able to spend that $500,000, but I can't see there being anywhere really, or anyone really, to spend any money on. So the chances are, guys, it's probably going to be a relatively quiet deadline day. That's why it's took till 3 hours left before I've come back, because otherwise it's just you guys watching me go click, 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 and nothing really happening. So again, another boring deadline day, because I do tend to get the deals done before deadline day. But yeah, 3 hours left. Let's just see what happens, but I'm not expecting miracles. Right, guys, we are, in fact, almost at the end of deadline day. But as obviously, as I did say, we have got a fixture to play against Peterborough. So nonetheless, let's just get straight into it. The team's pretty much the same as it usually is. Got Swanson on the left, Raggett, Morrison in the middle, and our new signing Paul playing right back at the moment. Griffiths in goal. We've got Pack and another one of our new signings in Doherty in the middle. With him, Jacobs in front of him for now, and Karoma on the left and Springer on the right, who in fact has also been in rather good form. We do have our other new sign and Liam Cullum on the bench. Other than that, it's all pretty much the same team. Vidra's not quite ready to play yet, so we won't be seeing him yet. Entirely sure when we do see him, but let's just get into the game, shall we? I don't really know what to expect from this game. I mean, as you can see, our recent form suggests that we've been rather good and rather clinical, to be honest. Not too much on the clean sheet still, but we have been rather clinical. But again, Peterborough, I can't imagine they're an easy team in this league. They did, in fact, if I'm correct, did come down last season, and do have some good players. But I guess we'll just see how the game goes. I think we can get a win. But luckily, because we do have that game in hand and could still be top, I guess it's kind of a free hit. It's a relatively end-to-end first 15 minutes. Obviously, they've had a couple of shots, but neither of us had any shots on target. I think that free kick is about as close as it's got so far. Yes, worryingly, they have had the better of the opening 20 minutes. We don't seem to be seeing much of the ball, but I guess being the away team, you can't expect too much of that. We do have the ball here, so maybe we can make some of this. We've got Pack going up to Doherty. On our new signings, you've got Raggett and Pack Doherty again. I'm hoping you can do a lot. That is a fantastic ball to Karoma. I mean, again, these decision making. He gets himself so many chances, but never pulls it off, never makes the right decision. Peterborough are on the attack now, and oof. I mean, they're getting some shots off, aren't they? They're doing well, they're getting some shots off, which is a bit worrying, but it's early days yet. Nothing's happened. Let's just see how we go. There's Jones to Burrows on the attack. They're in our box. Come on, guys. Oof. I mean, we did some good solid defending there. We're doing a bit more defending than I would like to have done. Go on the ball. I might have to look at a few things at half time, because whatever we're doing really isn't working. And I can't just... Oof. That was a great goal line clearance there, having him on the post. So that first half went relatively quick. I'd say it was rather quiet. But as you can see, Peterborough's had 10 shots, only one on target though, lucky for us. But that was a rather quick first half. Quick word with the lads, bit of pointing, bit of shouting, and hopefully getting a bit more motivated so we can do, obviously, improve in the second half. Right, so we are starting the second half. Hopefully, we can make a better showing of it than the first half. I have slowed the highlights down just a little bit, so we can watch the highlights a bit better. Karoma's coming in on the attack. Has he still got the ball? He doesn't really make much of that, does he? It's a better start, I guess, to the second half. Having the ball and creating a chance in the first 5 minutes. I mean, would I take a draw? I possibly would take a draw, but I'm never going to go into a game for a draw. But depending on the result and depending on the game and the team, Sometimes you just got to accept it, haven't you? Paul there doing well. Springer. And is it Scarlett in it? Ooh, Scarlett nearly adding to his tally for the season. Paul there. And Springer again. Looks like them two are getting a good partnership already on that right-hand side. Morrison won't be here next season. He is our best defender. Ooh, I'm glad that was offside. Morrison is our best defender, and I keep getting whinged at by the board to give him a new deal. But he is 34 years old, and I think I need to be a little bit harsh there and maybe let him go at the end of the season and try and replace him with someone obviously I can probably use long term, a bit like Poe. Oh, I mean, that was nearly the opening for us there. We have, in fact, just hit the post. But nice to see in the second half, we have improved massively. Springer being a key part of that on the right-hand side. I have had to move him over to the right-hand side just for now because he was playing on the left-hand side and doing well and scoring goals. He started to really come into form, but then the manager was threatening to recall him because unlike Sheffield United, the manager actually spoke to me first. He keeps threatening to recall him if I don't play him in the correct position, even though he's playing week in, week out. So I'm thinking, get us past the transfer window when you can't recall him, and then I'll put him back on the left-hand side. We are pushing our luck there. Like, I thought that might have been a penalty. There's Jacobs with a nice ball. On ball to Springer. Can he do something with it? Can he make a good decision? Can he? Yes! See, this is what I was talking about with Springer. Even on the right-hand side, he's creating something and doing something. But unlike Karoma, he actually made the right decision, a rather unselfish decision. And we are 1-0 up. Well, this is a much better second half. I think we've already had more highlights. And the second half has already took longer than the entire first half. I mean, based off the stats on there, they haven't had a single shot in the second half yet. Now, I don't mind if it goes all relatively quiet. If there doesn't want to be another highlight to the end of the game, I'm okay with that. Well, this is rather worrying. I've opened my mouth, and now they've got a corner. That's not the best clearance. They're still on the attack. Can we do something about it rather than not concede a penalty? Are we going to do anything about it? It was relatively tame in the end. Yeah, there's Swanson and Raggett. Can we have a Springer counter attack? Can we do well? I mean, it's concerned that both our midfielders are on yellow cards, but let's just make some substitutes. Is that Scott? Oof. I mean, that was a nice ball from Karoma. He has got it in the bag. He just doesn't do it often enough. Right, so I think for the last 10 minutes, we're going to make a few changes. We're going to bring Curtis in on the right-hand side. And do I have anybody for left? I don't. I was a bit short there. Box to box. I think I'm going to change both of them. We'll get them both changed, freshen up, because that could be key there. And I can change one of my centre-backs. And I think that should be all right. I think that should see us through to the end. I was going to have to. But I think that should see us through to the end of the game. They are on the attack. I am hoping we can see it out and rather than not mess it up at the end. It wouldn't be the first time this season that we have gave it away towards the end. Come on, guys. Get it cleared. Oh, oof. I was adamant that was in there. Like, I thought it was goal. It's been a relatively end to the game here. Touch wood, we are in the 90th minute, but they have got a highlight. So God forbid nothing happens there. There we go. That's a nice solid win. I'd say comfortable, but I'd like to say Peterborough probably were the better team overall. But we got the result. We got the goal. Pretty good goal, to be fair. And we move. Just another quick look there because I think that was our game in hand. And because we did win it, I mean, look at that. We're 3 points clear of Plymouth, who at one point was a good 7-8 points clear of us even after we beat them. So it's good to put them behind us. Could we in the first season already tick one of our rivals off in the South Course? I mean, it looks like it could be, but who knows? There's only a 3-point gap. But more crucially, 9 points clear of third place, who ironically is against Barnsley, is who we play next. Right, guys, we are in fact at the end of transfer deadline day. As I turned around and said, it was a relatively quiet one. But in terms of January, I think we've made some improvements to the squad. Do I think we're a better squad than we were going into January? I do. I think we've got a little bit more strength in depth now. Obviously, we did lose Jefferson, but we did replace him with Cullen. Obviously, we have brought in Vidra, who can play behind the striker, but as a striker. And we have added some more youthful depth to the midfield. And crucially, he's going to be here next season because at this rate, we're not really going to have any midfielders left. And the addition I wanted to the defence, obviously, he's playing right back, but he is a good centre-back, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to improve in the attacking midfield and improve in defence. We've obviously let a few players go. Minji has gone out on loan. With Tony Cliff and Freeman leaving, and I can't say it'll be much of a miss because part of the problem was they were never really playing, so I've never really noticed or missed them. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get into the second game of the episode against Barnsley. Again, this could be a crucial one because it could drag them back into the automatic hunt by closing us down. Or we could at least bury them and keep them away from us for at least a little bit longer. So let's go to the team. I think it's pretty much the same team as we saw last time. Swanson, Raggett, Morrison, Poole in defence with Griffiths in goal. We've got Pack and Doherty in midfield with Jacobs in front of him. Obviously, I have moved Springer back to the left because he was scoring goals there and doing well. And now the deadline date is closed. He can't be recalled, so he can win jolly likes. But he's playing there and he's playing there week in, week out, and he's doing really well. I have moved Karoma over to the right because the other guy that normally plays there is injured. Scarlett up front, and obviously, like I just said, Jacobs in the middle. We have, in fact, got Vidra available now on the bench, so we should, depending on how the game goes, we should get to see his debut. Right, let's kick off the game against Barnsley. We're at home this time, so I expect us to do a little bit better than we did in the last game with terms of possession and keeping the ball a bit better. We really should be the ones dictating the play and getting after it today. But who knows? Let's see. As long as we get the result, I don't really care how we get it. On the attack with Jacobs, see what he can do about it. Can he do much with it? Oof. I mean, he will now be thinking and trying to fight for his place because that's what he's going to need to do. I think any dips in form, and obviously Vidra's there with his quality ready to take over. Here we are with another corner. We've had a relatively busy opening 15 minutes. If we can at least make something of these this opening 15 minutes and these opening chances, I would really be happy about that. Ooh, I mean, we're giving it a good go, aren't we? I mean, we do look much more confident than we have done. Obviously, in previous episodes, we were still flicking between the formations, but we're looking much more. Well, we're looking much more solid and confident now. It does look dangerous on that left-hand side. So unfortunately, Dean Smith, you're just going to have to put up with the fact that he's playing on the left-hand side. Obviously, we still retain the ball here. We love for these long balls on the left and right-hand side. I wish we could do a little bit more with it, though. If he'd have scored that, that'd have been an amazing piece of play. But we've got to compact in much from this free kick. We don't do too much from free kicks, but let's see if we can make one. Of course we do. Of course. As if it was offside. I just want to say we don't make much from free kicks and then we go and score one. Never mind. Here we are with yet another corner. Can we make something of this corner? The answer's no. We've still got the ball. Paul seems to be taking his time about it with Morrison now to Karoma. Ooh. It's ambitious. Right, we are at the end of the first half. I mean, we have had a few shots, a few crucial shots, and obviously a goal offside. But I think we need to do a little bit better in this second half. So again, more pointing fingers, more saying do better. Let's go score some goals. Karoma's going to lose the ball. That's going to happen. When I said something's going to happen, this is not what I meant. This is not what I meant when I said something's going to happen. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, I've absolutely done really, really well going through teams. Plymouth are even losing, and now we're going to drag another team back into it. Come on, we have to do better than this. I'm going to demand more. We've had too many clear-cut chances to not at least have one goal here. Springer's doing well again, trying to create something. But I think in about 5 minutes' time, it might be time to bring Vidra on. Although he's obviously completely on match sharpness, so I don't really know what I'm going to be expecting from that. But, I mean, why is he all the way there on his own? What are we doing? I mean, what's going on that this lot? Let me just have a look at this. I mean, I don't want to drop it back, but this lot, I mean, you can't be leaving any striker that much space. Go on. What? Ooh. We really are giving it a good go, but we really are failing at giving it a good go. Ooh. Right, I think it's time to make some changes. I think it's time to bring Vidra on for his debut. Let's get Cullen on the pitch as a pressing forward. Because he needs the game time, and obviously I'm hoping for him to be next season. If I was able to bring Springer in next season, or Scarlett, sorry, I would be happy, but I think Tottenham are going to want to send him or keep him. with how good he's doing. We have made those changes. I think we're going to go to attack because I can't just sit back and at least not try. It's Vidra's first moment of the thing. Oh, I mean, that would have been a dream start for him. Although he looked rather slow there, which is also rather worrying. That's probably the fact is obviously his pace is probably not the best. But the fact is he made the position in the run. I mean, are we going to be able to do? I mean, come on. I mean, there was some passing on there. There was movement there. I mean, come on, guys. It's gone a bit quiet with the highlights. We've got one now, but they've got the ball. Can we do something about that? Was a nice little flick there, wasn't it? Come on, Vidra. Can we do something about it? Yes! Oh, is that another offside? Another offside. I mean, that's two. I mean, where's the off? Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, that would have been fantastic. I mean, pretty much two new signings. Basically, linking up there. That would have been fun. Oh. Whatever. I mean, it was offside. I can't really argue with that. Come on, Doherty, put the ball through there. I mean, the space is there, and I don't know what you're doing. Is Curtis going to score the goal? Is this one allowed? Are we allowed this one? I think so. Yes! Third time lucky. It was a fantastic ball by Doherty, even if I did want him to put it through the middle, so I'm glad he didn't listen to me. That was a fantastic goal by Curtis. Great ball over the top by Doherty. One of our new signings, so obviously that's always a good sign. And Curtis, who doesn't play that much. Can we go nick a late winner here? Springer, I'd say I'd take Springer off, but I ain't really got anyone to replace him with at the moment. I really need my upper midfielder Dale to come back, and then I'm going to have four pretty decent wingers. Griffiths, what are you doing? Are we making runs, or we just no? I mean, there's early signs for the cameo that Vidra is having. Obviously, he's made some good runs and some good movement. It seems like he is going to be able to create some chances for those strikers, if not take them himself, as his match sharpness will go up. But his movement looks really well. I mean, we play some good football here, aren't we? Go on, Cullen. Go on, Cullen. Oh, I mean, again, Cullen as well. He's another one with Vidra. He's just getting in good positions. He has a good few chances already. He already did one disallowed goal. Is Vidra going to pull something off here? It was rather unselfish of him. And we've lost the ball. Nevertheless, it is 1-1 at full time. Yes, we would like to have won the game, and probably we should have won the game. But more importantly, we didn't lose it, so we remain 9 points clear of third place, which is obviously the most important thing. Whether we finish first or second, finishing above third is the most important thing. Did I think we were going to be in the shout for automatic this season? No, I didn't, especially not after the first 18, 20 games. I thought we'd be like a bit too inconsistent. I thought we'd be in the playoffs, out the playoffs. Ultimately, I did think we'd get the playoffs. I didn't think we would be top of the league and at the moment favourites to win in the league. So that is, in fact, the league table as it stands right now. We're all on equal games. As I said, I'm 9 points clear of Bristol Rovers and Barnsley. I'm obviously 4 points clear of Plymouth because I'm pretty sure they lost as well today. They lost, we drew, so that's more points clear. 16 games to go. I think we're in a pretty solid position, but 9 points is absolutely nothing. I think more crucially, if you just calm our ambitions down a little bit, we are 11 points clear of obviously 7th place, which is not the playoffs. So to summarise the episode, we did beat Peterborough United 1-0 to obviously open that gap up even more for the playoffs. Obviously, we drew 1-1 with Barnsley, even if we did deserve to win it, but nonetheless, they are no closer to us in automatic. Obviously, deadline day was a rather quiet one, but as you saw in January, we've brought in some new signings, new starters, which is key, which I think just improves the squad depth, which is never a bad thing. So I think this team getting us to the end of the season and hopefully promotion, I think we're in with a good shout. I think we've got good strength in depth, good squad player, and just off that little cameo there, I think Vidra and Cullen are going to be key players for us this season. In terms of coming back for the next episode, I am thinking that could change a little bit in the Bristol Rovers Port Vale game or maybe the Port Vale Forest Green game. That's just because we are nearly at the end of the season, so we can assess where we're really going to be in terms of playoffs. Hopefully, we're flying top of the league, nothing to worry about. But if not, we're in playoffs. We know that we're going to have a nice, interesting end of the season. But I do appreciate you guys coming out, watching the episodes, and hopefully deadline day. I do apologize, it was a bit boring, but hopefully you guys are impressed with the summer signings I've made. But guys, if you are enjoying the series and you do want to see more of the South Coast Supremacy, obviously feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Any support is greatly appreciated. Also, if you want to make a comment down below about how you think we're doing so far, how the state of the squad looks, how you think I did in January transfers, and how you think we're going to get on for the rest of the season. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see all you guys in the next episode.